It's day 3 of Moodle Moot Global, and I'm here with Chris Nelson, who's a Senior Product Development Manager with the Open University. And Chris, alongside his colleague Tim Hunt, did a really interesting presentation on the first day of the Moot about quiz-related improvements in Moodle 4, which I found really interesting. But before we talk about that, the Open University have been using Moodle for some time, is that right?
Yes, since, we started looking at it in 2005 and started using it properly, I think, from 2007. We then had a rapid acceleration project to onboard and move everything across to the new learning management system. And I think it pretty much became our central delivery from 2012.
Wow, that must have been a huge project, because how many students do you have?
Currently, just over 265,000, I want to say.
Huge.
For the UK, yes, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a completely online learning experience, so although there is the big Milton Keynes campus, we don't have students there. They all study from the home on the computers and mobile devices, etc.
Yeah, so you need a very robust system, I'm sure, that's been extremely scalable. Do you host with AWS?
We do, yes.
Interesting. And I was really curious about your presentation because it just seemed so learner-centric, really, the improvements you've done to quiz and obviously improved how you deliver for educators. Can you tell me a bit about some of the work you've been doing with quiz?
Sure, okay. Well, actually, I just want to say first that although internally our customers are the business, the faculties, the schools, etc., everyone at the Open University is very conscious about how important it is to serve our students. So therefore the feedback that I get from the business is essentially from the students themselves. Some of the more recent stuff that we're doing to improve the student experience in particular is to do with our diagnostic quizzes. So this is to make it so that there can be sectional scoring. So students can take a single quiz that evaluates reading, writing and possibly speaking Spanish, for example. And that can be graded by the system, and that gives them a much better idea of where to start with which module or course indeed, and where they need to begin the student journey. Not all students come to us ready to start, maybe at level 1, for example. We do have a lot of access modules.
Sure, and so educators can then deliver content that's suited to that student or cohort of students.
Absolutely. Sometimes knowledge changes over the decades, so someone who hasn't been a student for 20 years needs to start at perhaps a lower level than they might have thought.
Sure. And do you work very closely with your educators, so the faculty who are actually delivering courses, to think about improvements?
We try to. I mean, given the scale of the Open University, it's very difficult to do that. So we do have representation on groups. I do try to get out to all the schools and talk to as many people as possible, and also the production teams. Generally, we use a lot of data to give us an insight into what are the worst blockers in our systems. So we rely on that student feedback to come through from the surveys, etc.
So it's multifaceted. You're getting input from learners, educators, representative groups.
Yep, so much data.
Yeah. And so you obviously see something that you want to achieve. Do you have a big team of Moodle developers who are working?
Yes, both onshore and offshore support.
Okay, great. Yeah.
It just becomes a problem to work out how to prioritise what is the most important. And then we have our quarterly releases, and of course Moodle releases big versions every 6 months as well, so we have to work within that time frame.
Yeah, heavy pressure, I think.
Yes, it's always go.
Yeah, and I know that Open University have contributed to Moodle a lot over the years. Would you agree? What kind of things do you do in terms of community contribution?
Certainly in terms of the development team, a lot of them have produced large features of core. Tim Hunt, who I work with on quiz developments, he also spends his weekends and evenings also developing for Moodle as a volunteer, etc. So there's quite a lot of overlap, I'd say, between what the Open University has done and does and Moodle itself. But that's the great thing about open source. If we don't have it in Moodle and we want something, we can build it. And what's there, if it's not quite doing what we want, we can improve it.